Hello, 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 and today I want to talk a little bit about fonts. I'm going to teach you a couple main things today that I think are going to help you be just more productive and useful when you get a random task from somebody who asks like, hey, what font is this? And you don't know. Also help you organize fonts, get fonts into different programs, find fonts from free, all the hacks and things that I love. So let's start with kind of inspiration guide. I have in our internal AF marketing documentation a list of all of my favorite font resource guides. I love just seeing things on social media and screenshotting them, putting them into a folder in my phone, or just keeping a little folder in my Dropbox of like things that I like, right? So just so I can remember. But one of the things that are also really helpful are all these different trending sites like this one, Typewolf, which will tell you what's trending in type. Typography and font selection is so important when communicating a brand. So for AF marketing, we've gone from this really like bold, thick, like heavy, almost punk rock kind of font to a more elevated kind of concierge, like serif style, traditional, but clean and contemporary. So it's not like Times New Roman for our vibe. We're doing something that's like a little bit different, but still feels very elevated and classic, right? So I've always been looking through Typewolf and I'm going through here, and it's just a good way for us to see like what's up and what's trending and be like, oh, I like that font, or this one might be great for a certain client that we have. Let's just go ahead, and if I click on this one, it takes me to a web page that's just really beautiful. It's just the site of the day from a couple days ago, and they have a really beautiful presentation. I like this font. So let's pretend I want to see about downloading this font, right? What I would do is I would click into it. The font that's used is called Recipe, and it takes me to the site of the person who developed and designed this font, okay? So this is where you would buy it. It looks like they are like located internationally, which is interesting. And then what you can do is you can get a specimen, which is like a sample. You can try it out for free, or you can buy it. Now, do I recommend buying fonts? Not all the time. Sometimes you might need to buy a font because it's a way to earn the license for it. So in this particular font catalog, it gives you two options: a display, which is like a headline or a heavier bold font, and just regular text. I have absolutely no idea what this currency is, but it tells you to buy all these different like versions of the font. It's whatever 76 CHFs are. So that gives you license, and then you have all the licensing information in order to use that font on your web projects, right? So that's one way to find fonts. Another way, this is more of that, is by just kind of looking around. Again, I love this particular site. It's called fontjoy.com. It's font pairing, because usually when you have a headline, a subheadline, and text, you're going to want to play with a combination of serif fonts and sans serif fonts. So you guys know what a serif is? See these little like dangly guys right here, like on the G and the N and the W? All of those little dangly guys are a serif. A sans serif font, which sans means none, is a really clean font like this that has a hard ending and no little dangly guy, okay? So this gives you just some ideas of font pairing. It goes through different ideas so that it has the best readability and also stays really interesting. And here you can see the different fonts that they've chosen. You can do just randomly generate. You can, play with your own fonts, things like that. One of my favorite font hacks is finding a font identifier. So I, for example, found this particular image on social media today, and I really liked the font that they used for Wealthfront. So this is from TSC Podcast Stories, and this font to me feels interesting. It kind of has like an Art Deco vibe to it. What I really like is that O that's off axis. I think it makes it really interesting, but still really easy to read. It's bold, but it also feels different. So what I did is I just took a screenshot of that font, and it's on my desktop right now. So if I go to upload the image, or rather, if I just drag the image over to the font identifier, we could please participate. There we go. It will pull up the image that I put here. It'll put each of the letters into boxes so that the program can identify the font, and I'm going to click maturate it. Now, sometimes with this could be a custom font. It could be somebody like a designer that had a regular font and then just played with this off-axis O. But what it's going to do is it's going to give me a whole bunch of different options that are close to that font. Now, you can see here, this one is probably one of the closest ones, and it's available for purchase on FontSpring. So if you have the budget for it, you can always buy a font and download it on a different website like FontSpring. I also love Behance, which is an Adobe product. A lot of these, again, are for purchase, but there are still a lot of fonts that are available for free. Anyway, that font maturator is really exciting for if anybody ever asks you, like, hey, what font is this? And you don't know. Here's some other examples. I didn't like the results on FontSpring as much. Font Squirrel is my preferred. But on Font Squirrel, what I really like is that they have a lot of free fonts that are available for you. So I'm going to take you through like how to navigate this site, and then also what to do with them and how to download them, okay? I'm going to open up one more tab while this is loading. So if we go to fontsquirrel.com, over here on the tool or on the sidebar, we've got all these different classifications. So based on what you're looking for, you can refine your search to find things faster, right? If you need something that's like a hand-drawn font, or you need a serif font, something really clean, you're looking for something that's calligraphy, anything like that, you can go through and search for your favorite fonts. But I had already browsed through this hot section, which basically tells you some of the most popular fonts on the site. If it could load there, well, I don't know if I'm on the right page. I don't think I am, but let's just use one as a example, okay? Here we go. Now it goes. It records so slowly because I'm doing Loom, or I'm sorry, it loads slowly because I'm recording on Loom. So let's pretend I see this font that I'm absolutely obsessed with, looking for one that's popping out to me. How about Ostrich Sands, okay? So I can go here and download this TTF file, and it's going to take a second to load. I also just wanted to show you while this is downloading, Behance, again, it's an Adobe product, and it's just kind of like a lookbook of sorts where people can promote the different fonts or things that they create. So here's a font I thought was interesting. It'll show you all of the glyphs, which is what they call all of the different words, but this is really not readable. Really interesting, right? So it looks cool, but the readability level is pretty low. If I scroll down, I can see that it's €5 to purchase it, okay? I also just downloaded this particular font, which is Aqua. I think this is really beautiful, really clean. Love this. I love that these, like the crossbar on the A is lower and the H, the G. It's kind of got a little bit of an Art Deco vibe, but very, very clean, easy to read. When I clicked through to download it to see if it was free, and I was able to download it here. Then I've also got this one, which was interesting, Mocha, and you can see how the designer came up with this font, which is so rad, right? Original sketches and what they've played with, and what they actually write in here is that the setup isn't perfect, but you can download it here, and they leave a Dropbox link, okay? So let's talk about what to do with these now. So if I open up my downloads folder, I just downloaded that Ostrich Sands font, and typically they're gonna come zipped up like this. So I'm gonna unzip the font, and then in your Mac, if you're on a PC, I don't even know how you operate, so I apologize, but let's pretend you're on a Mac. You're gonna look for Font Book and open up your font book. And what I recommend that you do is over here on collections, you create a collection that you know is yours, your things that are downloaded, right? So let's say like AF downloads, okay? Right now I have AF collection. That's kind of like how I know which ones I've downloaded. These are all like the ones I've picked for some reason. So here's that Aqua one that I just downloaded minutes ago. And then also remember that Mocha one, M-O-K-A. This one is actually not perfect. You can see some of the inconsistencies here in the stroke. Stroke is the line, but we're gonna play with it and see what works, okay? And then I just got Ostrich Sands. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag that over into AF collection and see that it uploads here, hopefully. Things are going pretty slow. Here we go with the spinning wheel of death. And Ostrich Sands, here we go. I've already downloaded it, maybe? I don't know. Resolve automatically. Whatever's happening. Oh, maybe I pulled it in there twice. Okay, so now what do you do with it? So now that you have it in your font book, it will show up like in your regular programs like Adobe products or Microsoft Word or things like that. However, my favorite trick is to pull them into Canva. So if you go into Canva and you go to Brand Kit, you can actually upload your own special fonts to Canva so that you can use them within Canva. So upload a font right here. And then I'm literally just going to pull from my downloads file the 3 fonts that I just uploaded. And then they'll go into Canva. They're asking that you have permission to use them. If it's a free font, you get licensed with it as well. And then once you refresh Canva, you should be able to use all the fonts that you've downloaded. Oh, it's corrupted. I gotta fix that one. Anyway, so that's kind of the fast and dirty on how to play with and work with fonts. I hope that's helpful for you. Just some hacks to see how you can up your font game. Keep an eye out for fonts that keep you inspired, things that you like, make sure they're readable, and start thinking about how different fonts have different personalities that tie to the different brands that we work with. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon.